I am the Master Raider. Today, I am here to rank Green Lantern Corps members. As always, my rankings are always right. Your rankings are always wrong. And before we get into there, like and subscribe, or don't. I don't really care. So let's get into it. Here are the categories for today. At the bottom tier, we have Recruit. The Green Lanterns that they are barely getting through. They are barely surviving. Second tier from the bottom, we have Ring Bearer. These guys can hold their own for a wee bit, but, you know, they're just, At the middle tier, we have Corpsman. These guys are serviceable. They can do their jobs. They're there. They know what they're doing. Then we have the Alpha Lantern. These guys are great. They can hold their own. They can probably take out 10 to 20 guys. They are studs of the Green Lantern Corps. Finally, we have the Honor Guard, the uppermost echelon of Green Lanterns. These guys are the best of the best. If you need a job done, they're the ones to get it done. So let's get into this. Our number one on the board today is Abin Sur, the Green Lantern who would eventually give his ring to Hal Jordan. He crash landed on Earth, dies. To be honest with you, I don't know much else about Abin Sur, but the dude looks like a badass. This dude, I believe, is a legend in the Corps. I'm going to put him at Alpha Lantern, just solely based off of what he did to get it into Hal's hands. That's pretty much it. Next, we have Alan Scott, the original Green Lantern, the man whose weakness is wood of all things as a superhero, which don't take this guy into a forest. Apparently, he will be useless. I have Alan at Corpsman because here's the deal. He's a legend from Earth's standards. He's a different kind of Green Lantern. That's great. Seems like an interesting guy. Very well respected in the superhero standards. But I'm like, meh on Alan, you know? Next, we have our man, Guy Gardner, who I will say his stock increased after the Superman movie. I will say that. Listen, Guy is one of the main 4 Green Lanterns that are humans. He's held down the fort for a lot of times. He's that kind of guy that you want in a bar fight. Like, he's going to get down and dirty. He's going to have your back. He's not afraid to punch first and ask questions later. That's what you're getting out of Guy Gardner. So, I am putting Guy Gardner in the Alpha Lantern slot because this dude is reliable. Is he the most creative out of the Green Lanterns? Absolutely not. This guy's picking baseball bats and punching gloves. He wants to get in your face. And also, we got to watch out for the anger issues. I mean, this dude was also a Red Lantern for a while. So I've got Guy at the Alpha Lantern spot. Next, we have the guy that when you say Green Lantern, you're thinking Green Lantern. It's Hal Jordan, and Hal Jordan is in the Honor Guard. This man's feats are incredible. He's made his own ring out of his own willpower. This dude crafted his own Green Lantern ring off of himself. We can also go down the Parallax route of how OP he was with Parallax. Obviously, that ended a horrible, horrible disaster for Hal. He's redeemed himself. That might have been retconned completely. Don't hold me to that. I'm not 100% sure that storyline. DC reboots all the time, so I don't know what's all canon and not canon. But it's Hal Jordan, the fighter pilot, baby. This dude is the Green Lantern essential. The amount of times he's led the Green Lanterns into battle himself. Too many times. Hal is an honor guard. Next, we have Jessica Cruz. From what I remember about, I believe she has some anxiety issues, which I can relate to. Got those as well. Listen, Jessica, she seemed all right. I don't know if they're giving her the push like they were back in the day. I'm going to put her at Corpsman. She's solid. Very interesting character. I think they need to explore her a little bit more. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I haven't been paying attention, which I can confirm that I probably haven't. But I have Jessica Cruz at just a Corpsman. Next, we have my Green Lantern, the Green Lantern that I grew up with. I didn't know who Hal Jordan was when I was a kid, but do you know who I knew as the Green Lantern? John Stewart. John Stewart is in the Honor Guard. Listen, this man's tactical mind is brilliant. You want to watch a great cartoon with John Stewart in it? Go watch Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. This man was phenomenal in that show. John Stewart was a badass. There's a reason that Green Lantern was my number 2 favorite in the Justice League as a kid. Actually, he's probably number 3. I'm forgetting about Batman, which is a weird thing to forget about. but it's Manhunter, Batman, and then it's Jon Stewart, and it's close. John's the man, so I got John at Honor Guard. I don't know why I put up a 2. Then there's a teen lantern now, going by Kelly Quintela. I believe they said she was from Brazil. I know very little about her. However, I like the look. I like the fact that instead of a ring, it's a gauntlet. I'm going to put her at corpsman, just based off of what little I've seen from her. But she seems like a very interesting character. I would like to see her show up in some cartoons and stuff, give her a chance to shine. They don't really have a younger Green Lantern, so I like that concept. I think of Young Justice. Green Lantern is not represented in Young Justice from that standpoint. You have Superman you have Dick Grayson Robin, you have Kid Flash, you have Aqualad, and that first season, and then you have Miss Martian. In that first season, you don't have representation for Green Lantern or Wonder Woman. So to have that team, I feel like that dynamic, especially for Hal, would be very interesting to see. So I'll put Kelly at corpsman. All right. Now we have a legend in the Green Lantern Corps. We have Kilowog. I'm just going to cut right to the chase. Kilowog is in the Honor Guard for me. He is in the Honor Guard. And here is why. This dude is an absolute beast. Every time he's on screen or in the comics, this man is stealing the show. He is a physical specimen. When you look at the Green Lanterns, especially from the human side, sure, they've got muscles, right? But they aren't tanks. Kilowog is a walking Green Lantern tank, and he brings a lot of a diversity in that department when it comes to the Green Lanterns. Go look at all the other Green Lanterns. Look at the alien. They're oddly shaped or they're very skinny. Kilowog is the only one built like a freaking bulldozer. That dude would just charge into enemy territory, probably put on like a suit of armor with a Green Lantern ring, and pretty much break through any building probably. He's a battering ram. I love Kilowog. Kilowog is in the Honor Guard. Then we have another one. Another goat of the Green Lantern Corps. I've got Kyle Rayner here, and Kyle Rayner is going into Honor Guard as well. Listen, he is the most creative Green Lantern by far. This is also the guy that was able to hold on to every single ring of the emotional spectrum and not lose his freaking mind. It's never happened before. And then he had a nice little stint as the White Lantern, which I honestly wish they would have kept him as, because it gives him a little bit something different to do. And the White Lantern Corps is way overpowered. It's ridiculous how overpowered they are. And also, I love Kyle's mask. His Green Lantern mask was sick. I've got him in the Honor Guard. Next, we have Simon Baz, and I will put Simon Baz in the corpsman slot. Listen, Simon follows along the lines of me with Jessica Cruz. This was just the next generation of Green Lanterns that I didn't spend a lot of time with. And Simon, I believe, has a very interesting story as well. I like his different look. He's got the full-on mask compared to the other ones. Like Jon Stewart doesn't wear a Green Lantern mask at all. Hal and Kyle have their own unique ones. Guy doesn't wear a mask, and he should when he's having a bowl cut. But then again, what's the point of a mask if you have a bowl cut? You're going to stick out like a sore thumb regardless. But Simon covers his full face almost, except, his mouth. And I know he's got something with a gun. Again, it's one of those characters that has a very interesting backstory to him. I just don't feel like they use him that much right now. And again, maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm wrong. But him and Jessica, I know they kind of showed up together around the same time, Simon a little bit before her. And I know they were paired up together for a little while to be Earth's Green Lantern. It's just hard for all of these other Green Lanterns to come up and shine when you have such an amazing full in Kyle Rayner, Guy Gardner, Jon Stewart, and Hal Jordan. So I'm going to put Simon at corpsman. I'd like to see more out of Simon. And maybe I just need to go deep dive on some Green Lantern stuff after this. Next, this one is a legend who kind of fell from grace. I have Sinestro here. This might be a controversial take. I'm putting Sinestro in the Alpha Lantern spot. Listen, before he went nuts and insane with power, this dude was a very, very good Green Lantern. He knew what he was doing. He did it the right way up until he didn't. He took justice and matters into his own hands. But before that, he was one of the best Green Lanterns there were. I'm putting him Alpha because he's way more known for being the Yellow Lanterns now. Obviously founded his own corps. That's why he's so awesome of a character. And whenever he gets the Green Lantern back, it's always an interesting story or angle when he does. So I'm putting him in the Alpha Lantern. Finally, we have Sojourner, or I know they call her Jo Mullen, and this is the newest Green Lantern. This is the Green Lantern that's been getting the biggest push recently. I'm going to put her at corpsman again because this is just, look, she seems awesome as well. I will say there's not a bad Green Lantern design out of the human Green Lanterns, right? Outside of Alan Scott, and that's just because he's not technically a corpsman. He's his own Green Lantern, but you have to throw him on the list out of respect. I like Joe's mask as well. She goes a very different route than the other Green Lanterns. I think my favorite thing when it comes to the Green Lantern Corpsmen in general, they're all on the same team, but the uniforms vary based on the person. Like, obviously, Hal and John have a more classic Green Lantern look, and then you look at some of the newer ones, like Simon and Jessica and Sojourner. They all have their own unique looks. I mean, even Jessica has the Green Lantern on her eye instead. So I'm going to put her at Corpsman. She's very new. She's very recent, along with the Teen Lantern character. I don't know much about these, but if she's getting the push and the recognition, I'm going to assume that she's being very well received. Otherwise, they would have buried the character a while ago, I think. So I'm going to put her at Corpsman. All right, the list is over. Look, I'm looking at this list. I'm like, I was very kind to a good amount of these characters. And I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Look, if anything, after this list, I'm looking at it, I'm like, I need to go some more Green Lantern stuff because there's a lot of Green Lantern that I didn't know about. And that's what DC, one thing DC is really good at compared to Marvel is their legacy characters. In the sense of they do a very good job of these superheroes having the same mantle but putting different characters in the mantle instead of Marvel where it's every character has their own mantle and it's very few time where they actually delve into somebody else taking up the mantle, and when they do, you know it's not going to be a permanent thing. So on that note, Godspeed.